Bienvenidos a AfterBuzz TV, el ESPN de conversaciones de televisión.
Hola a todos, welcome everyone. We are very excited today because we're talking about an awesome, short, Pepito. We have the amazing creators here with me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and being with us here at AfterBuzz Latino. I have here Eman Esfandi. Is that correct? Is that correct?
Eman Esfandi, yeah.
Yeah, all right. And Isaac Garza.
Hey.
¿Cómo están?
Bien, muy bien.
So you're both Mexican American? Is that correct?
I'm Mexican American.
Mexican American.
I was born and raised in Laredo, but I am half Persian and half Ecuadorian.
I was gonna say, because your last name, right?
Right, my last name is.
Yeah. I was like, okay, baby. But you guys, thank you guys so much. I really loved your short. It was so good. There was moments of hysteric laughing, and I definitely related on it on such a personal level that I was it brought me so much joy, especially in these times right now that we're having. How did that story come up? How did you guys come up with this idea?
Well, first of all, thank you for saying that. That means a lot to us. That's why we made it, so people can connect with it. So that's really nice to hear.
Yeah.
The idea came from I was in an acting class at Texas State University, and the whole class was doing Shakespeare, and then the teacher noticed that I wasn't really, I guess, into it.
Right.
So
he's like, nah.
He threw me a curveball.
Not good enough for me.
Yeah. I couldn't get invested in it. The people who were doing it, they were great. I wasn't good at it, basically. And he threw me a curveball. He said, Isaac, stop with the Shakespeare. Here's this. And he gave me a PDF script of a scene from Mad TV where there was this character named Stuart played by Michael McDonald. And he said, do you know this? I was like, of course, I watched Mad TV when I grew up. Do this scene with a classmate, and that's what you're going to be working on now. And I was like, oh, what a gift. So I did the scene, and I made it my own version, and it was super fun to play. And then I thought, how can I explore this fun character even more as a performer and a writer, and make it grounded and make it a story authentic.
Yeah.
And so I wrote Pepito, pitched it to Eman. Eman got what I was going for right away. And then from there, it was mostly kind of a filmy sketch.
Yeah.
And when Eman came in, we started digging more into what's the film about? That's when we discovered it's about the relationship, the mother, and we started redefining the script more to gear more towards in that direction, and that's how it originated.
Did you guys have any I know being I'm bicultural, so it's I have Colombian and Mexican in me, and growing up is very different with my relationship with my parents. You having the direction, being a director, did it come you were just pulling out from your family as well? Is it very similar?
Yeah, absolutely. My mother is the one from Ecuador, so.
Oh, okay. So you were yes.
Yeah. So having a Latina mother was obviously what I was familiar with, which I think is why it helped me connect so much and so quickly. And as far as approaching it, it was really just I've been through this story, and I'm confident in what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
And then it just was fun, how how can we get it to really emphasize the absurdity of the character that is Pepito, which is really the absurdity of the dynamic between a child and their parent kind of for a long time. It's a little bit, it's bizarre.
Yeah. I'm honestly so glad that you guys wrote this, because I was watching it and I saw my mom. That was I'm not I'm not a boy, and but that was my mom. Almost everything that you guys wrote and depicted, that was actually my childhood, and up to right now as an adult. I'm going to be 30 this year. There's still a lot of things that I can't get away with because my mom won't let me.
Totally. Some things never change.
Yeah.
It's nice hearing people say that they saw their mom on screen, because I wrote it from just what I know my grandma and my parents to be it's just an amalgamation of them.
What did they think when they saw it?
Honestly, so the first time they saw it, I showed them a rough cut because they were asking for it, and I was in the editing process with Eman, so I was kind of detaching myself from how they would respond personally, and I was kind of just trying to get just feedback about how they enjoyed it as an audience. But even now that they've like seen the film probably multiple times, I've never really gauged their personal reaction to it. Of course, they've reacted positively to like how it's done as a film, like, how do people support you, but some things are just left unsaid, and I think that's because the film said what it needed to say.
Yeah. And I think it's hard for them. I think, you know, they are very caring and loving, and they do have all these layers to them, and you forget, like, we haven't been parents yet, and so it's like we don't know if we're going to just be like them as well. You know, I'm not probably going to be a church mom like as the extent that my mom is. I loved it so much because it's so true. Like, as soon as you go back home, it's like, tenemos que ir a misa. Like, that's what we got to go. And it's like, what?
You want to give them what they want, and you turn into that, and they turn into themselves.
Yeah.
How did your mom? I never asked you.
Yeah, how's that?
Yeah, you know, my mom, from the very get-go, when I told her about the story of it, it's like, oh, Pepito's gonna be huge. Pepito's gonna be incredible.
Aww,
I think my mom might be watching. Hello, Mom. I love you.
Love his mom.
She and I had a very specific relationship growing up, and I think that transition for us, it's such a coincidence, happened very early on by circumstance, just because of the role I ended up playing in our family. But the opposite transition, where I, as the individual, was aware that I'm not only my mother's son, took me a lot longer, actually, till after I even directed this film.
Oh, wow.
Because in the film, you know, Pepito he understands that. That's what he's trying to get the mother to know. But I just looked at it from the mother's side and then realized later, like, oh, I have to look at that. I gotta watch this movie.
You're like, I need to sit down with my
I gotta really look at this movie that we made here.
So Iman's mom's actually in the film, and Eman had to direct her.
Really? How was that?
Oh, it was fun. I mean, it was like, actually, she's such a cheeseball. She just kept like smiling, and it was kind of this like, it's a little awkward because, you know, everyone's having fun. And you're like, actually though, like we're not smiling in this moment. You know?
Oh, yeah.
It's weird to be like, she was so excited. Was she
just like?
Yeah. Well, she was just like doing what we asked, but then, or what I asked her, but also was kind of like just giddy, you know, like giddy smiling.
Oh,
she's not a trained actor, so like I couldn't. You know, there was a level of, but it all worked. It was all.
Yeah, she killed it.
I mean, all of Isaac's family was in it too, and that was they were.
Oh, was that the family that came?
Oh yeah,
my family plus Eman.
Oh wow, that's amazing. That must have been so fun.
It was a lot of fun that day.
That's what I love a lot about these like Latino stories that are coming out, like the amount of family and how much heart we have in these stories. I want to talk a little bit about the contest. How did you guys come about like entering? Did you guys already have the film made, or did you guys just make it for HBO specifically?
No, we had the film made, and our intentions were just to get it on the festival circuit, see how it does, and eventually just share it in the best way we can. Obviously, just
I mean, that's a huge platform. I mean, I'm so happy that I have access to it. When J-Lo was the one that introduced me to it, I was like, oh, this is amazing. Like, we have this amazing short, and like anyone can watch it who has access to it. How do you guys feel about that? Having like, you know, the like the indie circuit or going like the festival circuit, you kind of have to be in the know and kind of go to it, but like having it where you can just stream, especially like right now, you know, it's
a blessing truly to be able to share it this way. We do have to thank the official Latino Film Festival, like Danny Hastings. He has a festival that he's been running for a little bit now. Yeah, 5 years, and he's been doing a hell of a job. And this year, he got HBO to partner with the festival, and HBO decided, you know, this is a festival. We're also going to launch our inaugural Latinx short film competition.
That's amazing.
And so they selected from the amazing pool of films there. And moving forward, we're waiting to hear how they're going to select.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
But you made a great point as well, Delia, that when it's on a festival circuit, there's sort of like a, it's like, unless you're also touring with a film, which is rare because, no one uses that stuff. And
you're not backed by giants. Yeah.
Yeah. This film was between us for so long.
Right.
Like to the point where it was just kind of like, that's something we have and made, another, oh, great. Oh, another, it's just like, for so long, it was not something public.
Right.
Then the moment it became public, it wasn't, it's as public as you could imagine.
Right? That's like awesome.
Baffling, but amazing. It's like,
I'm like so happy for you guys. I'm like, yay. And I'm so happy that like AfterBuzz, that we get to shine a light on your work. Really, like that's what we try to do here, especially with the new channel with AfterBuzz Latino. We definitely want to like push for all of our creatives and like just to send the word out of like all your amazing work, because that's what we're here for. Like all of us helping each other. So I'm like really glad to be talking to you. I'm like super giddy.
Thank you. I'm feeling it. I'm having fun.
Yeah, it's been great.
In a sense, it's kind of ridiculous.
Right?
It's like
kind of hard to grasp. Like,
right? But it's inspiring. Yeah, it's inspiring. Like for people to just realize you think that you have nothing really to write about, or people aren't going to resonate with it in a way, but you write what you know, and you write what's is close to you. And it does touch people. It touched me. I know it touched Jayla. We all immediately were like, that's us, dude. That's us right there.
You know what? Props to HBO, because when they selected us, we had like a meeting with their acquisitions people and their marketing people, and we didn't know what to expect. I personally expected like, oh, they'll just be very cordial and like thank us for a film. They talked about our films and they told us why they chose our films, and they're championing diverse stories left and right. A lot of the streaming networks are doing that, but HBO especially, they're proving it by having these competitions and having these ways of highlighting these stories that haven't been told before.
Right. Yeah. Which is amazing, because I am seeing a shift. I know you guys both are actors. I kind of dived in a little bit more into your IMDb. And I know, so how is it like, do you feel that being writers, creators behind the scenes does help you guys with making money moves, I guess, for acting? Because I know acting can be very gang member, or you're going to play, the stereotypical Latino roles, although it is changing a little bit. But you're still kind of hitting these blocks as an actor.
Iman and I used to go for the same role of drug dealer. We won't say what show.
Really?
You
could not imagine how a third eyes view on us auditioning for these roles.
It was probably really cringy.
It had to have been so embarrassing, but we went all in. We both committed completely.
Right.
The same
you were like doing the gangster, like, what's up, fool? Like, you're just doing
our best. We had the accents. We put on all black. I put a ponytail. We did our best, but really, you can only fight so hard against who
Exactly.
What you come off as on a screen. It's just
at a point casting. We just started rejecting those auditions because we know we're not gonna get it. We don't fit it, and also just to prove a point that like Latinos are more than that.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's so funny because I'm also an actress, so I see the breakdowns, and they'll often ask me for I guess the stereotype is the badass cop, or like has attitude, but then I walk in and I'm like, hi.
Hey. Smile lights up the room. They're like, hey.
Oh, you're supposed to be really angsty, and like how you say, like there's different, we all look different, we all come from different backgrounds. I'm glad that stories are being told, but yeah, I think being able to write things sheds a different light that people often don't think of us in that way.
I'd like to make a comment. I had a conversation with someone. Well, I live in California right now. I've been pursuing acting out there, and I'm being half Middle Eastern, I go in for a lot of that, and actually didn't really get many Latino auditions, although I am half Ecuadorian and was raised on the border with Mexico, and Spanish was my first language. And nonetheless, the roles, it seems, when they're stereotypical, are usually auxiliary, right? Like they are roles that were added in for the sole purpose of, we don't have diversity on this, let's add a person of color. And they generally couple person of color with a person of sexual orientation that
that's very true.
they put a lot of LGBTQ with the person of color. They couple that as like a new version of a token.
Yeah, like a little check mark, like they get the check mark, and they're like, well, we are like complying with our.
We have diversity, yeah.
Yeah.
And so often you'll see the lead characters of most things, like, because I don't argue that there are more roles now for diverse people, but the lead characters of most things are usually not the diverse characters. It still revolves around a more the more commonly used races, and then adds people of color. And so in writing our own stuff, in writing stories that come from our personal experiences as people of color, all of a sudden it's like it breaks that veil of like, oh, there's no real like what kind is a lead. It's like a story is a story and has the heart of it, and we can follow anyone to it, right?
Exactly.
Eventually,
no, I totally get that. I definitely can see that 100%. And it's always funny because you create something like this and they're like, oh, we didn't know that Latino stories could be so powerful. And it's like, but did you guys watch Selena? Did you guys watch Bamba? Did you guys watch like all of these like other movies that have been made or stories? And they're like surprised every single time it's a hit, every single time it does well. And it's kind of just like reiterating, it's like, no, we just need to keep pushing. Because if you even think about like, I think it was from America Ferrera, I think when she was on TV, from Ugly Betty to Superstore, that was 10 years until there was like a Latina who was actually the lead of a show between those two shows.
That whole cast is so funny.
Yeah,
dude, they're all great.
But yeah, it's still so remarkable to look back on, right? Like it's taking time. But these interview like Latino segments, HBO Latino, things like that. I mean, they're, not to become too capitalistic in the idea, but some people are like, whoa, we're trying to make money, and so we don't know what audience are there. And this is just proof that there is a huge, massive audience wanting content that is diverse.
The largest minority group in the United States is Latino, and that's dollars that these companies, these production houses definitely need. They want those eyeballs. And so I am really glad that you guys are continuing. Do you guys have anything else that you're working on right now, or do you guys just think taking a break? Well, I mean, quarantine is kind of I understand if we're not being creative right now.
Yeah, Eman might not tell you, but he booked a really good supporting role in his first major Warner Brothers film.
Nice. Look at you being all humble. He's like not trying to talk.
I think production got delayed, but I think we're hopping back.
That did happen, and it got pushed. But that was an exciting development that happened.
Oh, that's great.
Which is cool. And then Isaac also wrote another short for both of us to act in together. We actually realized we've never acted in anything together.
You just work together. You just
ideas at each other for so long, and he just wrote something really, really hilarious.
I like it.
I like it a lot too.
I don't like a lot of my scripts. I like write it, and I'm like,
y'all gotta send me. Y'all gotta let me know. Like, just be like, yo, we got something new. I'll be like, yes, I want to see this.
Absolutely.
You got a fan right here who's like excited.
We're excited too. I mean, once this whole situation becomes safe, we want to get out there and support others too. Community. There's a filmmaking community here in Austin that's very supportive of each other's works, and
that's awesome.
Really.
So shout out to them, because Pepito wouldn't have gotten me without them, and
would not have
really?
We were exposed to a lot of other sets because as actors, and everybody's just championing each other's work. So
that's amazing. You guys just have a great support system, because that is tough, like creating them, like getting the money and the time and the locations. People don't think about like all of this that comes with making a short. Like it's a lot of work. Yeah, it is.
A short wouldn't have been possible without all our without our acting, really, because a lot of the crew members that we reached out to who agreed to be on it, I acted in all their student shorts. And
nice.
One of the locations we got at the last second, because a girl from our acting class who I did a short with, her father had a place we could use. It was like all just through the community that we built as actors and eventually now as creators. So
that's great. I always think like actors are such a great like we're so great at like helping each other out, just because it is a very isolating and tough industry to get into. And I do think it's, if you're an actor, you kind of are the only person that really understands what you're going to go through, the rejection, the uphill battle, and like the moments of like no work, and then a lot of work and auditions back to back. And it's just great to have like actors, especially friends who you can collaborate with. Did you guys just meet in an acting class?
Isaac and I?
Yeah.
We grew up together.
Met him
Oh man.
I just met him
So
right now.
he just walked in and we just like
Let me to my home. I was like, you sir need to quarantine. Get in here.
Get in
you
here.
guys both went into acting and we're childhood friends.
Wow.
Yeah, our dads had stores in downtown Laredo. They were both merchants.
They both still do, actually. They both
still do.
Still have downtown stores in Laredo.
And we just grew up together, played tennis together. That was our main sport. Growing up, helping each other get better. And then now we're doing this.
Yeah. There was like a little moment where we split.
Yeah.
I went to train at a tennis academy and played college for a couple years.
We had a breakup.
We had a breakup.
But you needed
More
to
of a
like,
separation. It wasn't like an animal.
you need a breakup sometimes to make the relationship grow and like realize you had.
And come back together stronger.
Yeah. I love it. I love it so much, especially that you guys are childhood friends. So now we gotta get it to like growing up Latino. Like what were like, I know like, for example, the McDonald's bit that y'all kept putting in, like for me, that was 100.
Oh man,
Like,
that was very real for me. I mean, so I side story, but I used to be chubby in middle school, and my parents forced me, which I later enjoyed, to be in cross country. But the deal was that after every cross country practice, they would have to buy me 2 hot and spices from McDonald's. So I never really lost any weight. I would just finish my 2 miles, and then my McDonald's would wait, and then my parents were like, at least he's doing something now. I really enjoy exercising and all that.
You're just like, now it's like, I don't need to be rewarded with McDonald's. I'm doing good. I'm woke now.
I was a scrawny little feller and wouldn't eat a dang thing except things like McDonald's and Burger King and KFC. And so I was eating it, but it was only because I wasn't eating food at home. I was like, I don't want it. You know, it was a little, like, what do you want? I'd be like, McDonald's, chicken nuggets.
The Happy Meals, man. Those are the best.
The Happy Meals. I had this toy already. That was
the 90s with those Happy Meals. I mean, that was like happiness in a box. That's true. It's Happy Meal.
Yeah. Where did you grow up, Delia?
I grew up here in Los Angeles. My dad's Mexican and like my mom's Colombian. So that, I don't know if it's something with immigrant parents. I have a friend that also, she has immigrant parents, and we grew up with McDonald's. So I don't know if that was the thing, but yeah, like every Friday after school, every Friday I got my Happy Meal. Like it was tradition.
We're wearing sponsored, by the way.
Yeah, I know, right? This is
sponsored. No, it's not sponsored by McDonald's. I'm just saying. Did you have the raspa man where you grew up?
That's like the elote guy and the.
So there's the elote guy, and he would also often sell raspas.
He would have like multiple things. He would have elotes. He would have like the raspados. The paletas.
Yes, exactly. I just reconnected with a friend. She lives in New York. She's apparently from Laredo. I had never known. I met her online on an acting class, and then we just McDonald's, raspas, hot Cheetos and cheese, elote, like all the Latino like childhood things. That's
childhood right there. I'll tell you what, the elotes and the raspado, I would go to church because there would be a guy after church that was there every time after misa. So that's the only time why I would go. Only time I would go, and I would fight like Pepito, but I would go for that.
Heaven sent that man. That's awesome.
I just gained 5 pounds.
Just thinking about McDonald's. Man.
Yeah, we love McDonald's. But anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the heartfelt, like the pictures that you guys put, when we were realizing that Pepito is a grown-ass man who's, changing his relationship with his mom. And I'm going to say I almost cried multiple times. I was trying not to, but it was like, it hit me because I had not really considered the mom's point of view in this point, because I was like I was resonating so much with Pepito. I was just like, oh, ma, like you don't get it. Like, come on. But at that moment, I didn't realize, have you guys hurt your parents in a way, like have said things in the way that Pepito has and completely changed your relationship? Not intentionally, but like, you know, it just went there and, you know, you didn't anticipate it going there.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I'm not proud of those moments, but
Yeah.
those moments come up. I'm sure they have moments they're not proud of, but
Right.
I think when you put those moments on film and try to show them in a way that resonates with an audience, I think people can connect.
I mean, it was a really powerful like moment, you know, because the entire time, like I almost didn't anticipate that twist. It was I almost didn't see it coming. It kind of like took me by surprise a little. Was that intentional?
Yes. Short answer, yes. But you talked about the photos. The photos actually weren't written in the script until we were in the editing room, and we were like, how can we hit this home more and
it hit
perspective on the mom side? And we figured that the photos helps the audience get into the mind of the mother. So like just like it flips a little bit. And
yeah. And Delia, I will say, so the idea, we threw 100 ideas at this film in post. Post was a very strenuous creative process, but when that idea arrived, Isaac had to go home to Laredo and scan all these photos. So he mentioned he was doing that. I was like, awesome, I can't wait to see what it's going to be like. Sends me the clip.
Like I took a video of it with my phone.
Sent me the clip and I just bawled.
It's one of those moments where I get goosebumps right now just talking about it. Like you said, I was kind of watching the mom as the antagonist the entire time, and then at that moment my heart melted and I was like, I'm so sorry, Mom. Like I just like thought about my mom, wanted to call her, and I'm like, hey, listen, I know we're, you know, I'm not your little girl anymore, but I'll always be, you know, here for you. And it's just, I just loved it so much. I really hope you guys know that. I definitely, you guys are really, really great. This is honestly like very exciting for me.
Oh, and for us, thank you. You're amazing. This is so fun for us.
I mean, it's a filmmaker's dream to be able to just talk about their film.
Yeah, your work.
And dissect it too. Like there are things that it brings up for some people that we're like, oh yeah.
Well, for me too, people say something, I'm like, oh yeah, that was definitely intentional for sure.
Yeah, we totally meant to do that.
I get some where they say it and I go, oh shit, I never even thought about that.
Right?
Right. That does.
Because everyone has a different.
Yeah, like that does bring that up, right? Or like that is what that addresses. I was thinking of the other thing it might address, but that also addresses that. Like, just in, you know, and kudos to Isaac for being a writer who wrote from the heart. And it really, whether you're conscious of it all or not, so long as it's that personal.
I mean, I think writing's like so tough. I people tell me all the time to just write, and I'm just like, how do you get into the mindset to just sit down?
Just write.
Just write.
Write the name on the paper.
It's like I was like, no, I cannot write. Sorry, I just lost a little bit. So how do you get into getting in the mojo for writing your scripts and do you just sit down? Do you have a routine that you do?
For me, I like to get inspired, which sounds like, oh yeah, just get inspired. But I'll have an idea. I'll maybe call Eman or someone else I might trust with like just getting an idea out of my head, like into somebody else's ear, see how it sounds out loud. And if I like it when I hear it out loud, me talking about it, I might go and I write dialogue a lot. And
okay, great.
Yeah, I say the film out loud in wherever I'm writing, and I I like to write films the way I improvise. I do improv here in town, and that's kind of how I find scripts easier to write because it's so freaking hard.
Do you like to observe people when you're in public situations and like just kind of pick up lingos and just see how people actually talk to each other? Because I mean the dialogue between the father and Pepito and his mom was very authentic, and it was just very much like the kind of stuff that you say all the time without realizing.
I observed a lot of my little cousins.
Nice.
Mothers, just to make sure I'm not like old school with how
Yeah, you're not like...
people never stop talking to their mothers. Yeah, they always keep talking to them the same. So yeah, it was I did do just a lot of observing just so I can remember how that is. And it's like there's a musicality a lot to people talking about. I think Eman did a great job of like keeping that tone and musicality going throughout the film.
Yeah, the tempo, I think comedy is really hard because like what you said, the tempo and everything can, if you miss the beat, it's just not as funny anymore. And you guys definitely got so much comedy like packed in this short little film, like even like little things that you wouldn't think, like they just fit in this frame, from the sinner showing up to the hospital with the family, like he just like tagged along. And I was like, I watched it a couple of times. I was like, oh yeah, like what is he doing? And he's like, oh yeah, Father, I'm ready now. It's like little things like that you guys just managed to get that comedy going. I mean, like, do you guys have a lot of shows that you watch to get inspired, or what's your comedy inspiration?
I watch a lot of TV.
Don't do it to me, bro. I'll say it, okay? You don't have to. So we got, okay, so I'd assumed, as we talked, that the question about what shows we're watching during quarantine would come up. And Isaac has been diligent in reminding me to watch television because I am personally a film buff. I watch so many movies. Before quarantine, I'd go 3 times a week to the theater. Which
is good. You're supporting the industry you want to be in.
I've just always grown up on movies and love movies. Not that I don't love TV shows. It wouldn't be the first thing I thought of.
Right.
And it's so funny that the possibility of someone asking, what shows you guys watching, came up while with Isaac, because I'm like, okay, I'm trying. And I'm now going, Isaac, what show do I watch? And he's like, you need to watch this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. I'm like, all right. And that's like years of content already. I'm like, okay.
I love TV. I think if you think about it, now that I think about it, Pepito is written a little bit like a sitcom meets like I don't know if you know what an improv Herald format is.
Yeah, like UCB or
they do
long form.
Long form, where they bring things back at the end and they do callbacks. I try to follow that structure. I think that's the way I naturally think now. So follow that a lot, and like TV influenced that a lot.
I realized when you said the way you wrote, I actually write like event-wise, because my writing comes from poetry. So I've always written like slam poems and things like that. That was my first introduction to it. And then now I have stories in my head, moments from my real life, or things I'll come up with, and I'll write, this happens, that happens, this happens, that happens, here we end up. Or like, because a moment I'll think of, I'm like, how do we get there? Moment. And then I'll go back and fill in dialogue, but I'm like, the whole story's there. And if it's not, it's just like moment, never went anywhere, shelve it, like shelf it.
Do you think it's because you're a director and you see things more visually as to like the movie progressing? Like you just watch a movie in your head?
Yeah, I don't know. But
we're going to get deep.
Brilliant. No, I mean, it's fast. These are good questions to know of yourself.
Yeah.
A brilliant director, Ariel Heller, who's a friend of ours, amazing director. He pointed out certain things about Pepito and about a sense of storytelling that Isaac and I both had. But when I was having this conversation with him, and he was like, oh, dude, that's surely from osmosis, from watching as many movies as you watch. It's like he said with Harold Thinking, he's been practicing UCB style improv for so long and knows so familiar that when he thinks, it kind of just comes out that way.
Right.
What you just said is exactly why. I am learning right now.
Yeah, because I mean, you watch films. Yeah, so you watch films and you're used to he's used to episodic, and it's very much like these are cornerstones of like stories, and he can see like 6 seasons or 3 seasons, versus a film. It's more about like, what are these events like what's really, really needed, because I only have 2 hours to really tell this entire story, versus like a couple of years. And
that's also, now that I think about it, that's how a slam poem is. You get 3 minutes and it kind of rolls along like a film would, and like around the same time you're introducing all the elements, and then they all come together at the same moment, sort of like they would in the film, like Pepito, and then they have their ending kind of piece.
Yeah.
So cool.
I mean, you guys do an amazing job. You don't need me. You know, you're fine. You're fine. You got your directing stuff. You're good. You don't need.
I'm gonna
Do you guys have a favorite moment from the film, or a favorite part from creating the film together?
Besides getting on HBO and like
besides that,
like during the creation of it,
before the big announcement that you guys are gonna win.
I have a favorite moment. I wonder if it's the same. My favorite and most frightening moment was when we had our world premiere at Austin Film Festival. We shot in Austin, cast completely out of our acting studio, In the Moment Acting with Laura Gray. All actors we knew, all Austin based, all Austin crew. That's our community. That's what, you know.
I love that.
And the premiere for it to be at AFF was so big for us because all of them were there. None of them had seen it. All of our families were there. This is like my first time as a director. Normally I'm at premieres as an actor. And this is a really personal story. So my heart was beating out of my I didn't know I'd been working on the film for so long. I had no idea I'd be nervous. And then the day of, I literally was sitting in my seat like frozen. and then the audience was so receptive and they were like laughing. Actually, oh my God, my favorite moment is that first time Pepito came up. Film hadn't even started, and everybody just started roaring and clapping at the very top of the film. I was like, oh man, just the title. I was like, yes, we did it. Cut it. Stop it. We're here. We got the roar. That's what I want.
That's amazing.
I have to say the world premiere was my.
One of my favorite moments. I don't know if it's a moment, but it's just a moment that I guess is still profound in my mind. Just that it happened that way. The casting of the mother, played by Amparo Garcia Crow, is pretty interesting. So Eman and I knew that this film couldn't get made without the mother being really good.
Right.
She has to speak English and Spanish really well. She has to kind of resemble me in some way.
Right.
And she has to be in Austin. Well, she didn't have to, but we were scouting for people in Austin, and we knew of Amparo, but we didn't know her personally in any way. She happened to be on the same roster as our talent agency.
Oh, nice.
The week we had decided we're going to pitch this to Amparo. We don't know her. We're going to send a cold email pitching the film, being like, the part's yours if you want it. We've seen some of your work. And that week that we were drafting the email, my agent sends me a relayed message from Amparo asking me to come to a table read for a musical she's writing, because she's also just a really powerhouse artist here in town.
That's amazing.
And so I was like, yeah, of course. I didn't tell her that, hey, I was trying to contact you. I don't make it weird or anything. But after we did the table reading and I got to know her some more, I told her, hey, this is weird. I was actually trying to contact you as you contacted me. And she's such like a very connected with the universe person that she was like, of course. And whatever it is you have to pitch to me, it's a yes. And not even pitching the film, she said yes, because she says, I want to work with you, Isaac. And then Eman and I had dinner with her, and we explained the film to her, and she said even more yes. And then she came forward at night,
an angel,
just like the universe being like,
what's meant to be is meant to be. It's like that.
Wise to like, without a skipping of a beat, go, of course that's meant to happen.
Yeah.
And us
you have to have a similar mind to believe that, you guys both were meant to work together, whether you intended, you put that out in the universe or whatever. But yeah, those kind of serendipity moments.
And she like amazed us on set.
She was amazing. She was amazing. You were too.
Isaac's amazing. But
there was moments that we had to cut out from the film that she was just so funny. That her reaction shots were just like, we didn't know she was going to do that. That's so great. We had to cut a lot of it, but she's so good, and she got it. Like, she got the film. Like, she's like, I know what this is, and
that's so good.
Laughed with it. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, because she's actually not like that. You know, like a lot of times you may cast people who are very similar to the characters, and that's
they're
casting them, right? They're close.
So different from this character.
She would not even the cadence that Pepito's mom speaks in.
Wow.
If you spoke to Amparo, you would be like,
she's very calm. She's
like earthy.
The epitome of Austin. She's
oh my God, yes, Delia.
More like
very, very like a slower cadence, very calm is a good way to put it.
Just a good spirit.
Just like serene. You feel calmed by her voice.
And at least I think strict person.
Really?
Would be so chill about everything.
So opposite.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, that was a thing too. We were like, all right, you know, and that's on.
You're like, can you relate? Like,
no, that's on me. Of like, all right, we got to keep the cadence.
Right.
I've spoken to her, so we'll see, you know, how it runs. And she was fantastic.
Like, you know, how times you see actors and they have a British accent, you're like, whoa, I didn't know you were
You're just like, okay, did I watch this movie?
Yeah, if Amparo were to speak right now, you'd be like, whoa, that you changed so much. You just did so great.
And that's a brilliant type of acting, right? To pick up on a cadence of speech.
Yeah, was she Mexican also?
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, because like her dialect with everything, the cadence and the mouth. But you're saying that she's a slow.
She grew up in South Texas,
right?
In the Valley. Okay. Yeah, she knows. Like she can tap into that. But
that's amazing. I mean, I was kind of expecting you to show up with the bowl haircut, but like, you know.
Now that all the you might have to cut my hair. All the hair salons.
I'm just gonna bowl them up.
Did you guys both have that hairdo? Ever? I had it. Like
really?
I wish I had pictures with me, but I would send them to you when I tell my mom.
No, admittedly, my haircut has been this style all my life.
The slick back.
Just like the comb over, you know, and it's basically the same now. I had long hair to here, you know, even when we did the HBO interviews and stuff. But now that I cut it, I feel like I look like a little boy again.
Did you guys ever have bad haircuts that your parents gave you? Because I mean, that's part of like Pepito's like vibe. He's just like, you know, he looks like a little boy, like the kind that, you know, your mom takes you to the tias to get your little bowl haircut, and like she's talking to the comadres.
Yeah, looking back, but at the time I'm just like, my hair.
I remember hating haircuts, and my dad would let me pretend to fall asleep at the hair salon and go, oh, you're tired, we don't have to cut it. And my mom would be like, why didn't you get him a haircut? You know, like you went with him to the place. And he's like, you want a haircut. And then he was one time in charge of sending me to my yearbook picture.
Oh gosh.
Mom always did the freaking comb over, right? Like she goes, hey, I gotta go to this thing, you gotta send him on with this, you know, it's yearbook day. He's like, sure. Sends me in some random shirt and just bedhead, straight out of the bed, just tirado, like just a rat's nest. And I'm like, you know, my mom my mom was like, oh my God. And it was weeks later. You don't get it right away. So like weeks later.
She's like, oh, my mijito's gonna be here. He's gonna look
she thought I was gonna have the comb over, like her mijito.
I like haircuts. In fact, I remember even liking them so much. Sometimes I would tell my mom, like, oh, tell him to go more, because I just like the way it felt.
I like the air.
I wonder they gave him the bowl.
You guys, I gotta say that when I was watching this, I'm a huge fan. Have you guys checked out Pen 15?
No, is that TV?
It's on Hulu. But
oh my gosh, I was told about Pen 15.
It's like 90. It's like 2000s. I won't say 90s, but it's 2000s. I think it's like us growing up, middle school age, kind of. But it's the girl point of view. But your short definitely reminded me 100% of that. Like I would definitely dive in. There's a lot of similar things, and like the style, and it's all comedy also.
Those two, are they out of a specific school of comedy? It's two people they're leads.
There's the two. They're also best friends, and they also create together. I don't know what their background is, if they're like also from the UCB Growlings type thing, but I do know that they're also two best friends that like to create projects together, which is I was like I gotta mention Pen 15 for them sure.
Of course, and we should dive in.
And I know you like films, but trust me on this one, all right? Like
I will. I'll trust you. I won't watch Pen 15. All those other shows he recommended, I'll wait on.
Well, thank you guys so much. You guys want to give us a shout out to your fans and let us know where we can find you, your upcoming projects, so we can keep posted on what you guys are doing?
Sure. I mean, yeah, I'm mostly active on Instagram. Isaac
Okay.
with 3 A's, I think.
I will verify.
Yeah.
And I'm really mostly active on Instagram as well. Eman Esfandi. My name's kind of hard to spell. It's name backwards.
There you go. There you go.
Eman is name backwards, and then Esfandi. Best
It's
of
beautiful.
luck.
It just rolled off the tongue.
The spelling. Good luck. No substitute teacher had. There was no hope.
Oh, did you just get like the Mr. Okay.
Asked it upon the bottom. It would add like 13 letters. I would be like, here.
I would always know when my name was going to be called. They'd be like, everyone's, oh, hey, Karen, how are you, Karen? And then it gets my name, it's like, Miss G, Miss G, Delia Gómez here. Hi.
And then Pepito has a Facebook page. It's
awesome.
Facebook.com Pepito Short Film /Pepito Short Film.
You can see some behind the scenes photos there.
Yeah.
HBO did a really nice featurette on us and all the other 2 winners. And you can go to hbo.com/Latinx and you can find out all about the contest and watch the trailers.
Awesome.
They did a great job, and the behind the scenes are really cool to see and how each film got made.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Really cool clips, and also check out the other HBO Latinx short film winners. They are such amazing movies.
Slipping into darkness.
Such amazing creators. I mean, if you almost cried at Pepito, you will bawl at Serenata, and Slipping into Darkness is such a raw story. Both of them. So check them out too, and look into the comp. It's a real thing now. Here we are.
Well, I'm just really glad that I've had the time to talk to both of you, and that AfterBuzz is able to highlight you guys and like spread your amazing talents to other people and like get the word out, because that's what we really want to do here. And it's been amazing talking to you both. Honestly, it's made my day. We don't have so many great days without being stuck in quarantine. But it's honestly been wonderful just to be able to talk to you, laugh, discuss your film that touched me and I know touched many other people.
This has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you guys keep us posted. Keep us posted here at AfterBuzz. Anything you guys are doing, we're happy to put it up on our page and keep that momentum going for you guys.
I do have one thing I just remembered.
Yeah.
I was the lead actor in Robert Rodriguez's recent
Noise. Oh, okay.
called Red 11, and it's going to come out this summer on a streaming network called Tubi. And speaking about filmmaking, it's actually he went back to his roots from the Rebel Without a Crew book.
Nice.
And he made a behind-the-scenes documentary on the making of Red 11, because he did it in 14 days for $7,000 with just his son. So he did that same thing he did again when he was a 20-year-old. Challenged himself to do that again with his son, Racer Max.
That's amazing.
And then recorded all of it, and will speak on indie filmmaking techniques and things like that in the documentary. So that's all coming out this summer on Tubi. It's called Red 11, and it's super informative, especially if you are getting into filmmaking in an indie. So,
as you guys know, if you guys are filmmakers or trying to get into it, follow these 2 guys, because clearly you guys know what you're doing, and we're so proud of you, and we're very lucky to have you guys both here. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Delia. Stay safe.
You too. Bye, guys.
Nuestros fundadores Kevin Undergaro y María Menunos quieren agradecerles por estar aquí en AfterBuzz TV. Recuerden que no solo somos los primeros en ser los más grandes del mundo y el único destino para todos sus programas de televisión favoritos. Así, vayan a AfterBuzzTV.com para ver nuestra lista de shows. ¡Hasta luego!